Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're getting into something, something really urgent.
Yeah, it's this collision, right, between two massive forces.
Exactly. We're looking at the legacy of Edward Snowden, a full decade on.
And the relentless march of artificial intelligence.
The critical question our sources are asking you is this.
Yeah.
After those 2013 disclosures.
The ones that expose the sheer scale of NSA surveillance.
Right. How have things actually changed? And more importantly, how has AI supercharged the very systems he warned us about?
It's an incredibly high-stakes question. Snowden's revelations, they sparked a global awakening, a necessary one. But the fight for privacy is now in a totally new phase. I'd say a much darker phase. We've moved beyond just bulk data collection.
And into what?
Into algorithmic tools that could fundamentally dismantle our very capacity for privacy.
Okay, so let's unpack that. Let's start with the legal framework.
Good place to start.
We know there were some legislative changes, like
Yeah.
the USA Freedom Act.
There were.
But a lot of experts argued it was all just cosmetic. Right. So why do these core surveillance powers still exist?
That's the key. The core power was never really dented.
So the headline change was about limiting the mass bulk metadata collection.
Exactly. The phone records of millions of people. But the authority that really matters, FISA Section 702.
That stayed on the books.
It stayed, and that's the one that permits foreign intelligence collection, but it incidentally sweeps up just enormous amounts of American communications.
And what's fascinating, or maybe worrying, is that it was just renewed in 2024.
It was, and this law allows agencies to search through that collected data.
For information on Americans.
Yes, and often without ever needing a warrant. So those foundational powers, they're not just still there, they're now turbocharged by technology.
Which brings us to the profound shift our sources are pointing to.
The AI piece.
This isn't just about gathering old phone records anymore. So what is this new AI-powered capability?
This is the absolute game changer. We've gone from collecting metadata.
Which was just knowing who you called and when.
Right. It was like knowing you bought a map and some tools. Now we're talking about deep behavioral prediction.
What does that mean in practice?
It means knowing which bridge you plan to target next. It means governments using AI to merge and analyze everything. Phone records, biometrics, CCTV feeds, social media.
Data sets that used to be completely separate.
Exactly. And the result is this incredibly detailed profile built in an instant. It allows for real-time population monitoring.
So you can track activists, journalists, anyone with a precision that was basically science fiction in 2013.
Precisely. And this raises a really important question. What are the real-world consequences we're seeing right now?
Well, the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights is calling for a moratorium on these high-risk AI systems.
They are, specifically the ones used for profiling and predictive policing.
Because they're biased.
They know these systems are inherently biased and lead to deeply unfair discriminatory outcomes.
And if we look at the Amnesty International reports, these tools are already being used.
They're actively deployed. We've seen documentation of AI being used to surveil pro-Palestinian protesters here in the U.S.
And in Denmark, to flag people for social benefits fraud investigations.
It's incredibly intrusive algorithmic profiling in democracies.
But the regulations aren't keeping up, are they?
Not even close. You have the EU AI Act, which was a strong move to ban unacceptable risk systems like live facial recognition in public.
But that's one jurisdiction.
Right. In most places, the legislation is lagging way behind the technology. There's just no unified ceiling on how much surveillance is acceptable.
So when you put this all together, what does it all mean?
Well, the paradox is striking. Snowden's revelations shaped the entire global conversation around human rights and AI.
Right.
And yet, the governments he warned us about now have surveillance capabilities that just far exceed anything he exposed.
So protecting our liberties is going to demand real political resolve.
Unwavering resolve. We need to move past surface reforms and enforce transparent, accountable AI surveillance.
So a final thought for you to explore. If every single piece of your past digital activity can be instantly merged and analyzed by an AI to predict your future behavior, to predict your intent, does the very concept of digital freedom still hold any practical meaning?
A heavy question to end on.
Thank you for diving deep with us.